Hey YouTube and Instagram family, this is Manga Marie coming to you with the manga review. I am very stoked about this book. When I first saw the cover, I was very much intrigued. It was the, I forget how to pronounce it, but the anamorphous, or where the animals are like people type of thing, like beast stars and things like that. I'm really so obsessed with that. And so this cover drew me in automatically. And then you add the element of being eaten. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started here. So it's called Eat, and the story and art is by Nagabe. Let's read the synopsis. A devouring desire. Professor Lufria has a secret. He finds pleasure in watching others eat. As a strict and intimidating law professor, this wolf hides his unusual obsession behind a stern demeanor. But when one of his students dares to bite him, it awakens a hunger deep inside him. This time, it's not just about food, it's about passion, intimacy, and the thrill of being devoured. Will Lufria give in to his primal desires, or will he be left endlessly craving more? From the creator of The Girl from the Other Side. Now, this I believe is probably more risque. I haven't read The Girl from the Other Side, okay, but the artwork was very beautiful, and I do want to try it. But and the thing is with manga, whenever it looks childlike, it can be still way more intense and have serious subject matter. But I still get kind of thrown off by that, thinking it's going to be too like goofy for me. But now that I've read this author write this, I may give it a try just to give it. I know it's probably gonna be something different, but however, let me try not to ramble. This was very good. I gave it a 4, and I'll get into why I gave it a 4. But let's just get some of the highlights. So basically, this professor is a wolf who has a secret in watching people eat. And then when a herbivore, which is I think he's like a goat, or like, I'm bad with animals, but it doesn't specifically say, but they're assuming you're smart enough to figure it out, and I'm not that smart. But it's a large herbivore, and he has big muscles, which I enjoy. And then Lufria is small and kind of dainty in comparison. So you have a student, and he comes in and he's late, and of course, the professor gives him a hard time about that. But then they encounter again, and then this student, which goes by the name Gullah, has a urge to just bite him. Like, whenever he sees the professor, he just has a desire to bite him. So basically, what we're seeing with this is a person who has this deep desire that was blooming and kind of stagnant until he was bitten, and then that took his desire to a whole nother level of pleasure and fear and uncertainty. So it's like a situation where a person is developing, their kink is evolved, and then they run into a person who is the counterpart to that kink. And that's how the story kind of develops. There is a bit of a little love triangle in it, and that's another thing that's very impressive about this manga, is that it incorporates backstory, a love triangle, and a conclusion all within the span of this one shot. Because I don't see any number to indicate it's going to be a second one, but it does leave you wanting more. It does stop kind of abruptly, but not so much so that you're feeling like you didn't get the whole portion of what the story was supposed to tell you. Um, my favorite part was, I love the first bite scene when Lufria experienced the shock of realizing the instinct of his desires, to realize that first sensation of, oh my god, this is happening to me. And it makes me think of how I felt when I first saw the spanking scene in the movie Secretary, starring my beloved James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal, who did a great job in that role. It was shocking, scary, and exciting all at the same time. Nagabe, the mangaka, did a great job creating that experience in this story and in the artwork. Now, I did give this book a 4, and the reason was because the Gullah, which is the student that he gets into this, I would say, affair with, his facial features aren't drawn as you don't get a lot. You get the emotion around him. He's more of a brooding figure, but it's not enough. I like to see the cuteness or the viciousness in the face, especially with it being an animal face. But you don't get a lot of that, which was the only disappointing thing. But you still get the emotions that are felt within the story. Um, Let me see, was there anything else? And I do love that there is a growing romance there, but it's kind of, you know, Lafria is very stubborn, if you will. But without giving too much away, it does end a little abruptly, but you do get some shorts, which is kind of great. And I would love to get another a sequel to this. I would really appreciate that. This was a great read. It flowed wonderfully. I enjoyed the dialogue. And I really am super impressed with how quickly I became to care about the characters in such a short time. So yeah, this is definitely a 4 star only because, the romance interest wasn't drawn with enough features in the face to really see them, in the way I wanted to, but I still felt that character in the writing. So this is a great story, great manga. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. And thank you guys for tuning in to another manga review, the first one of March. I'll try to keep them coming more frequently as I'm getting back on a more reasonable reading schedule. The month of February was hectic, uh, but I'm bouncing back and getting the year back on track. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please comment down below, get a discussion started on if you've read this manga, how you feel about this manga, and any ideas you guys would have about any other books you would suggest or recommend for me to read and review. So thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.